won't stop! For my child!
Many, many years ago, in the great kingdom of Udowara, joy lived inside the palace walls, but so did fear. The palace was beautiful. Golden lamps burned every night. Drums echoed during festivals. Servants moved like shadows across shining floors. From the outside, it looked like heaven, but every maiden in the palace knew one terrifying truth. A palace maiden must never become pregnant. It was the oldest law of the kingdom. The elders believed that any maiden who carried a child within the royal palace had brought shame upon the throne. No questions were asked. No explanations were heard. The punishment was simple: death. And death came quickly. Among the palace maidens was a young woman named Adaize. She was quiet, hardworking, and kind. She served the queen faithfully and avoided trouble. No one ever imagined she would become the center of the palace's greatest scandal, until the morning sickness began. At first, Adaize hid it. She forced smiles while sweeping royal chambers. She covered her mouth when nausea rose. She wrapped her waist tightly with cloth to hide the slow swelling beneath her stomach. But months passed. Her body refused to keep her secret. One afternoon, while carrying water jars across the courtyard, dizziness struck her. The world spun violently. The clay pot slipped from her hands and shattered loudly on the palace stones. Adaize fell to her knees. The cloth around her waist loosened, and silence swallowed the courtyard. The other maidens stared. One of them gasped. Another stepped back in horror. Her stomach was round, pregnant. Fear spread faster than fire. "Guards!" someone screamed. "A maiden has broken the sacred law!" Adaize's heart stopped. She looked around and saw judgment in every eye. No mercy, no sympathy, only fear, because anyone who protected her could also die. The palace alarm drum began to sound. Boom, boom, boom. The sound meant only one thing: execution. Tears filled Adaize's eyes as instinct took over. Her hands moved protectively over her stomach. "My child," she whispered. Without thinking, she ran, barefoot, terrified. Guards shouted behind her, "Stop her! She must not escape!" Spears clanged. Footsteps thundered across the stone floors as heavily armed guards chased after the heavily pregnant maiden. Adaize ran through servant passages, through the marketplace, past shocked villagers who moved aside as she stumbled forward. Pain shot through her body. Her pregnancy weighed her down, yet fear gave her impossible strength. She reached the palace gates just as arrows flew past her. One brushed her arm. She cried out but did not stop. She ran beyond the farms, beyond the riverbanks, beyond the lands where villagers dared to live, into the forbidden forest. Branches tore at her skin. Thorns scratched her legs. Darkness swallowed the path ahead, but Adaize kept running. The guards followed at first, but soon the forest grew too deep, too dangerous. One by one, their voices faded. Adaize was alone, completely alone. Night fell quickly beneath the thick trees. Strange animal cries echoed around her. Her breathing became heavy. Sweat covered her face. Then, suddenly, a sharp pain struck her stomach. She screamed. Another pain followed, stronger. Her legs gave way and she collapsed onto the cold forest ground. Labor had begun. Rain started to fall. Thunder roared above the trees as Adaize cried helplessly into the darkness, clutching her stomach. "There is no one. Please help me." But the forest answered only with wind. As another painful contraction tore through her body, something moved within the shadows nearby. Leaves rustled. Heavy footsteps approached slowly. Adaize's terrified eyes widened, and just as her scream echoed through the forest, 2 glowing eyes appeared in the darkness, watching her give birth. Rain poured heavily through the forest that night. Thunder cracked across the sky as Adaize struggled on the cold, wet ground, her cries mixing with the angry voice of nature. The glowing eyes in the darkness did not move closer, yet they did not disappear either. Adaize's heart pounded wildly. Was it an animal, a spirit, or death finally coming for her? Another wave of pain forced a scream from her throat. She pushed with the last strength left inside her body, and then a baby's cry pierced the storm. Sharp, alive, powerful. The glowing eyes vanished instantly into the darkness, as if the forest itself had stepped back to welcome new life. Adaize collapsed, trembling, tears streaming down her face as she pulled the newborn child onto her chest. It's all right, she whispered weakly. Lightning flashed above them, revealing the tiny face of a baby girl. The child's skin shone warmly despite the cold rain. Her small fingers moved restlessly, gripping Adaize's hand as though refusing to let go of life. Adaize smiled through exhaustion. You fought to live, she murmured softly. You ran with me. You survived with me. She kissed the child's forehead. I will call you Kambili, because you came into this world bravely. That night, beneath the roaring storm, a haunted maiden and her child began a new life far away from cruelty and law. Days turned into months. Adaize built a small hut using fallen wood and leaves deep inside the forest where no hunter dared to enter. Life was hard, but love made survival possible. She gathered fruits, fetched water from a nearby stream, and every evening she held little Kambili close, singing palace lullabies the child would never understand. Sometimes Adaize stared toward the distant direction of the kingdom. Fear still lived in her heart. If they ever find us, she would whisper, they will take you from me.